Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings of peace, mercy, and blessings to you, young scientists. Welcome to Science Amazing Adventure, where the search for the truth continues. Hang on tight, for we will answer your questions on what, why, and how. Let us discover the beauty of the world together, for in the great minds of young scientists like you, learning never stops. Let me take you where your imaginations allow you to go. This is your science teacher, Teacher Aina, your guide in exploring and discovering the wonderful world of science. Have you played with the modeling clay? What forms have you made with it? I am sure you have tried making the famous ensaymada with that clay, or have even made different shapes out of it. A heart, round ball, or even blocks for your tiny houses. What did you do with the clay to form the shape that you want? Kids, in today's adventure, you will describe what will happen to the solid materials when they are pressed. Together, we will answer these questions. Number 1. What happens to some of the solid materials when they are pressed? Number 2. After pressing the solid material, is there a new material formed? Number 3. What are other situations or activities where pressing of solid materials are applied? So, what are you waiting for? Prepare your PPS, pen, paper, and self-learning module, for these things will help you in today's discoveries. Look at these pictures, young scientists.
Can you describe the action shown in the picture? What will happen when solid materials are pressed?
This is the perfect time to investigate. But before we do our investigation, let's visit our friend, Tech Machino. I'm sure you've missed him too. Hello there, Tech Machino. Can you help me retell to our young scientists here what happened in yesterday's adventure with Teacher Baby?
Of course, Teacher Anna. All for our young scientists. Hop in and I'll take you all to the wonderful adventure in yesterday's history.
Always remember, solids have a definite shape and volume. You can hold solids. They have different characteristics or properties such as size, shape, color, texture, and weight. Solid materials can be changed through many ways like cutting, tearing, folding, twisting, bending, stretching, pressing, coloring, crumpling, melting, and others. When bent, these materials may change their size and shape, but no new material is formed. Only the physical appearance of these materials is changed.
Wow! Some solid materials can be bent, such as paper clips and copper wires. They may change in size and shape, but they don't form a new material. Materials like metal bars, which can be bent, are useful in the construction of houses, buildings, roads, and bridges. They are strong and sturdy, but they can be bent. That is just awesome, right, young scientists? For today, we will continue to learn about the changes in solid materials. Let us also remember, solid materials can be changed through many ways: by cutting, folding, twisting, bending, stretching, pressing, coloring, crumpling, melting, and others. For today, young scientists, we will focus on the changes of solid materials when they are pressed. It is important to learn this lesson and enjoy the advantages of the special characteristics of some solid materials. More importantly, this lesson will also remind us to be cautious in dealing with other objects that need not to be pressed, since they may cause us harm. To know more about pressing, let's use this time to play a game. I have brought my friend here. His name is Patrick. Let's see if Patrick can answer our riddles which are connected to national symbols of the Philippines. If he gets the answers, he will show it to us by forming or pressing the clay into the shape of that object. We will only give him 10 seconds. Patrick, are you ready?
Number 1. This is our national fruit. It is green when unripe and it turns yellow once it becomes ripe. This is said to have a shape of the human heart. What is it? The answer is mango. Number 2. This is our national animal. It represents strength and hard work of the Filipinos. Farmers have this animal to help them in plowing the field. What is it? The answer is carabao. Number 3. This is our national house. It's common among Filipinos. Its materials are made of bamboo and nipa. What is it? The answer is bahay kubo. Number 4. This is our national leaf. It is in a shape of a fan. What is it? The answer is a nahaw. Number 5. This is a national bird in the Philippines. It has colors of white and brown and is now endangered. What is it? The answer is Philippine eagle.
Thanks, Patrick! See what Patrick has done with the clay. He simply pressed the clay and formed it. Yet, we were able to see and identify what he was trying to tell us. When we press an object, we are pushing an object firmly with the use of our hands, feet, or other parts of the body, or with the use of another object. Young scientists, let us investigate what happens to other materials when they are pressed.
For this activity, we will be using these materials: modeling clay, paper cup, banana, bread, and dough. Let us be careful not to get messy. Make sure you have your gloves on and paper where you can put the materials when you try this at home.
For this activity, we are going to use a large stone and press each of the given materials. Observe what happens to each of them. Use your ballpen and paper to take note of your observations.
Let's start with the modeling clay. What happened to the modeling clay after I had pressed it? Next, We have the paper cup. Observe. What happened to the paper cup after I had pressed it? We also have banana. Observe what happens when I press the banana. What happened to the banana after I had pressed it? Next is bread. Observe. What happened to the bread after I had pressed it? Lastly, we have a dough. Observe what happens when I press the dough. What happened to the dough after I had pressed it?
Based on our activity, kids, what happened to the solid materials when they were pressed? If you said that they change in size and shape, you are correct. Was a new material formed when solid material was pressed? If your answer is no, there is no new material formed. Can you complete this statement? Some of the solid materials can be blank. Very good! Some of the solid materials can be pressed.
Some solid materials can be pressed depending on the property of the material. When pressed, these materials may change their size and shape. Other solid materials may also change their texture when pressed. However, no new material is formed because only the physical appearance of the material is changed. Can you identify if the material can be pressed or not? Can a sponge be pressed? Yes or no? The answer is yes. A sponge can be pressed. Can a ruler be pressed? Yes or no? The answer is no. A ruler cannot be pressed. Can a soil be pressed? Yes or no? The answer is yes. The soil can be pressed. Can a plastic straw be pressed? Yes or no? The answer is yes. A plastic straw can be pressed. Can a ball be pressed? Yes or no? The answer is yes. A ball can be pressed. Can a metal spoon be pressed? Yes or no? The answer is no. A metal spoon cannot be pressed. Can the tip of the spray bottle be pressed? Yes or no? The answer is yes. The tip of the spray bottle can be pressed. Can a cloth be pressed? Yes or no? The answer is yes. A cloth can be pressed. Can a bath soap be pressed? Yes or no? The answer is yes. A bath soap can be pressed. After pressing, some solid materials return to their original shape and size, while others do not.
We are surrounded with different kinds of materials, some of which can be pressed with our hands or other parts of our body. In some cases, with the use of another object. Most of the objects which can be pressed are beneficial for us. Some objects can be naturally pressed like soil. When we are planting, we usually press the soil to take hold of the plant we had just planted. Or the clay soil which can be formed and turned into pots and bowls. Some materials like plastic container bottles in lotion, rubbing alcohol and shampoo are purposely made to be pressed for our easy access of the products. Toothpaste in their containers are made to be pressed in order for the product to be extracted from its container. Some materials found in the house are made to be pressed to give us comfort and ease. These materials may be in the form of our sofa, the soft bed made of foam, or the pillows we use at night. Pressing an object will require us to push the object with the use of our force. However, not all objects can be pressed like a knife or needle. Some are harmful when pressed. These are the sharp or pointed objects which can cause cuts or wounds once pressed into the skin.
Can you identify different situations or activities where pressing of solid materials are applied? Use our diagram in doing this activity. You are given 1 minute. Some of the solid materials that can be pressed are: situation number 1, pressing the remote control in turning on and off the TV, as well as in changing channels and adjusting operations. Situation number 2, pressing the soap dispenser to release the liquid soap into one's hands. Situation number 3, pressing the brakes of a car to stop it from moving. Situation number 4, pressing the keys on the computer keyboard in order for the keys to appear or function in the computer monitor.
There are more situations or activities that we usually do that would require us to press other solid objects. At home, try to continue this investigation and find out what other situations would require us to press objects with the use of force. Some solid materials can be pressed depending on the property of the material. When pressed, these materials may change their size, shape, and texture. However, only the physical appearance changes. In today's adventure, we had learned that some of the objects that can be pressed are the modeling clay, paper cup, banana, bread, dough, sponge, ball, plastic straw, tip of the spray bottle, cloth and bath soap, and other more solid materials around us which can be pressed. Remember that some solid materials can be pressed for our comfort. Let us be wise to know which materials can be pressed and which cannot, so we can avoid getting ourselves hurt. That's all for today's Science Mazing Adventure, young scientists. I hope we answered your what, why, and how questions. Follow your imagination wherever it allows you to go. Once again, this is your science teacher, Teacher Aina. Remember, science is full of discoveries. Continue to search for the truth. See you in our next episode to know more about the changes in solid materials. Only here on DepEd TV. Don't forget to follow our official DepEd TV YouTube channel and Facebook page so you can watch your lessons anytime, anywhere. Hit like, share, and subscribe. Wassalam!